Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome back. I'm the Blundering Bishop, and thank you for joining me for another 15 plus 10 game here on chess.org, part of our Road to 1500 series. I had a couple of good results recently, so let's find another opponent. Okay, well, our opponent is Hatem9909, 1232 rated, so we'll start with e4. Opponent's only slightly higher rated than us, they go e5. Knight f3, look for an Italian game. Oh yeah, we've got it. Bishop c4. If our opponent plays into the Gioco Piano, I'm going to go for an Evans Gambit here. I love the Evans Gambit. Hope you're all well and had an excellent Christmas. Received lots of nice things. I got a premium chess set sent to me from India. Really nice. Okay, opponent does go for Gioco Piano. Really nice set. Bud rosewood for the black pieces, boxwood for the white. Very, very heavy. It weighs 2 kilos. Really enjoying playing with it. Okay, there's the Evans Gambit. See if our opponent wants to accept or decline. Okay, they accept, so the only move for us is c3. What we've effectively just done is traded away a pawn for development. Okay, they go back to c5, which I think is... Oh, in fact, it tells us is the McDonald defence. Okay. And I think that's a mistake because we've now got... Oh, no, hang on. Yeah. We're 3 on 3 if I push d4 now. So if I go d4, let's say e takes, c takes, bishop takes, knight takes, queen takes. So I think that just gives us access to that square after trades. Yeah, they do choose to take. Interesting. Or if our opponent just miscalculated, maybe? I think they've just realised now that they can't really take with the bishop. Or the knight. So I think they're going to have to retreat the bishop. Probably back to e7. It does leave our pawn structure in an interesting place. But I'm liking the look of this e5 square for our knight at some point. So maybe knight, e5, f3, castles. Okay, they do retreat, keeping the pressure on that pawn though. So if I just push it, that exposes our f-pawn to their bishop. So we may want to castle before doing that. Do we want to keep the pressure on here? No, I think we're going to castle. I suppose the other option here is if we go g5 into a sort of fried liver position, they could, then they bring their pawn up. Yeah, the second we do that, we lose that pawn, don't we? Okay, I think, should we start by getting our king to safety? Yes, let's just castle first. And I'm going to think about defending this pawn with a view to playing knight g5. Our opponent's development is now a bit off, their bishop is a bit misplaced on b6, and I'm going to see if we can punish that somehow. And I think, queen e2 is no good because that loses us the pawn. Yeah, let's go bishop e3. I suppose the other option is bishop g5, threaten their queen, but they can easily go, and then I'm not worried about the placement of our... Yeah, let's do that. Because now we go knight g5, they can't take with their queen, because our bishop is covering that square. I suppose our other option is just to keep it cool, keep our cool, and go for d5. I assume our opponent's going to look to... Okay, they pin our knight to our queen. Probably a wise move. Leaving us with the option of weakening our pawn structure, retreating our bishop, or just moving our queen to break the pin. Knight d2 looks good here. I don't want to be retaking if they choose to take the knight there with my g-pawn. That is very weakening, so knight d2, and then I could look to move the queen out after that, breaking the pin. Other option is bishop e2, but I don't want to move that bishop again if I don't have to. It's on a really good active square there. Although, having said that, we just need to be careful of the d4 pawn as well. So if we remove the queen as a defender of that pawn, we've still got 2 on 2. They don't have any way to immediately threaten it, so yeah, I think we're going to go knight d2 here. Probably spent a bit too long on that move. Okay, our opponent attacks our bishop, so that knight's now doing double duty. Okay, so opponent's got an attack on the knight on f3 and the bishop on c4. So we need to defend against those. Queen a4 check, c6. We can't take the knight, but then we're defending both pieces. But what's our counterplay? I mean, that breaks the pin on our knight as well, which I like, potentially allowing us to go. See, yeah, if we allow them to take the bishop, though, we're not up anything. I mean, our queen's not in danger if we play that move, so yeah, that breaks the pin and attacks their pieces on the queen side. So yeah, I think that looks good. Let's go queen a4, which comes with check. I mean, our opponent could go knight c6 here, just back to where they were, or they could go okay, they bring their bishop back, threatening the queen. It's probably a good move. Okay, don't really want to trade off my bishop on c4 because it's in a great position. But it is vulnerable, so bishop b5 just offers to trade, and then we take with check, but then after c4 we're just after c6 we're just retreating the queen again. Okay, we need to think a bit quicker here, running out of time. We've got to do something with our queen, so candidate moves are retreating the queen, say to c2, or exchanging the bishop. Now these pieces aren't great, this bishop is active, so is ours, but I'm going to trade it, I think, or offer to trade it. King's tucked away, so we don't have a vulnerable king to worry about. I suppose another... yeah, they do take. Okay, we'll take that trade with check. I think. Yeah. I think we've committed now, haven't we? So probably going to play c6. I suppose another option there was to offer to trade, but we'd have lost the bishop actually, so that isn't very good. Okay, what do we do with the queen now? Could come back here. It's just going to get booted around, so tucking it back seems like a good move. They're controlling all the way along the 5th rank really, so it's got to be back. I think d3, we're conceding a bit of space now, and and there's a big pawn majority on that side thanks to the Gambit move we played. This is the danger of the Evans Gambit if you lose the initiative a bit. Yeah, I think just queen d3 now. Doesn't have immediate threats if we do that. And then I'm going to look for d5 to try and bust things open a bit, I think. d5, I might play rook c1 first. Just attack this pawn. I mean, our opponent needs to get their king to safety, really. They've spent a lot of time sort of chasing our queen over here, whereas we've got quite a nice tucked up position. Wonder if they played d5 first though. d5 takes, and then we could go knight e5. So I don't think they want to do that. Yeah, rook c1, d5. That looks like a decent plan. So after that, d5 takes. That gives us an open file. We take with the knight or the pawn. We might actually want to take with the knight if we get there. It's nice our opponent's wasting a bit of their time, because as you can see down the side, we spent nearly 5 minutes on the last 4 moves. And they were crucial. I don't mind spending a bit of time, but as you know, I do have some timing issues in these 15-minute games. I've been trying to work on driftiness, so I'll cover that one after we've made this move. Right. Okay, so our opponent puts defender on that square, which is probably wise. I still think we could push it. 1-2, 1-2. Rook c1 first? No, we can benefit from that open file anytime. So if we push it, bishop takes, pawn takes, knight takes, pawn takes. Okay, yeah. Do we just want to go? No, that just loses our queen if we do that. Let's not do that. Could go and pin that knight. Exposes our f2 weakness a bit, doesn't it? Push there. So e5, let's say d takes, d takes. Yeah, we can't do that. That doesn't work. What if we go d5? Bishop takes. We've got to take with that f pawn, which is annoying. Pawn takes. Yes, that's not going to work for us now. Annoying. Okay. I just wonder if something like knight c4. No. Okay. So we're not. They're not threatening, mate. They're not threatening to take our queen. They're not. There's nothing we need to defend against with that move. Okay, I think we need to go pin that knight. So after that, our opponent. Actually, hang on. Our opponent then takes. We take. We'd be taking a check in that circumstance. So yeah. Okay, let's do it. If they try and boot it away, I think we'll just trade. Very happy to have that defender taken away. Yeah, they do. So let's. Do they take with their queen? No. Well, if they do, I don't think that's bad. So bishop takes, queen takes, d5, c takes d5, e takes d5. Yeah, their queen staring down at f2 as well, though. Yeah. Go back, but that allows them to push. Now I think we've got to take. Yeah, they do take with the queen. Now is e5 good. e5, d takes e5, d takes e5. That's hitting the queen. They have to retreat the queen, really, and that gives us a nice open file for our queen. They got any nasty tactics if we do that? I don't think so. So sorry, I was talking about drift before that all started. So I tend to look at positions and sort of drifty thinking, where you think, oh, I could play this move, could play this move, could play this move, could play this move. I'm trying to use a sort of technique to get down to a couple of candidate moves quickly. You know, are we going to be checkmated? Do we have to defend against a threat? Is our queen hanging? You know, that sort of thing, with a view to winnowing it down to a couple of a sort of brief list of candidate moves before then going in to think about what happens. You know, I can only calculate 2 or 3 moves in advance. I'm no genius, or even good, really. But you know, that has been really helpful in trying to play a little bit quicker in some of these positions. Okay, our opponent goes Queen e6, obviously recognising that they couldn't take the e-pawn, so I feel like we've got to get our knight in the game here, and that e4 square is looking quite tasty now. So knight e4 with a view to knight d6 check. It's not great, but it's clearly a better square for the knight, though. He's doing very little where he is. Our pawn's already denying their knight the b3 square, and he's our worst piece, and I can't see any immediate threats. So it feels like just improving our worst piece is the best move. So if we were to do that, I mean, it gives their queen access. No, it doesn't give their queen access to that square. That would be a blunder. Yeah. Let's do that. It's turned into quite an interesting position. I'm quite enjoying this game. I hope you are too. So yeah, by getting to those candidate moves, you know, it means I spend a bit less time drifting away, minutes thinking about, ooh, I could do this, could do that, could do that. You know, at least you're putting some thought into moves that are genuine contenders, instead of just staring at the position not knowing what to do. I mean, white's upper pawn, black's upper pawn here. I think, you know, if we get into the endgame, with this sort of material, our queenside minority is gonna hurt us. You know, they haven't got anything past. Technically, neither the C or the B pawn passed. Okay, they choose now to castle, probably wise to get their king out of the way, and also gives their rook a nice file to stare down. In fact, that's problematic because if they now take, we can't recapture because our queen will be hanging, so we need to deal with that threat. So the line I'm thinking of something like d takes e, you know, knight takes, queen takes. We can't recapture. We can't recapture with the pawn because we immediately lose our queen. So we need a new home for our queen pretty quickly. Right, let's have a think about where that might be. I mean, we could just tuck it here behind the knights. That looks a bit passive, doesn't it? Do we just take that knight would check, that pawn would check? So takes, and then whatever they recapture with, if they choose to recapture, they're losing material. So knight takes, rook and queen can't capture, so they'll have to move their king, say probably to c7, and then we could just move our knight back. That just looks like a free pawn. I didn't appreciate this weakness though. Okay, they do choose to retreat the king. Okay, I think we've got to keep the attack up here because the second we retreat this knight, we're going to have a problem. Should have thought this one through a bit better. Okay, so what safe squares does our knight have, though? None, really, other than beating a fairly hasty retreat. It's not unsafe where it is. Actually thinking about it, could we just keep it there for a minute while we bring some more pieces into the attack? So I'm immediately thinking rook a b1, but they're well covered there. Do we go? No, we can't go d5. Pawn takes, no, and that's just losing for us, isn't it? It's a shame. We could just bring him back. They're just going to keep putting pressure on this d4 pawn, though, whatever we do. So we need to come back to our candidate. So knight e4, just retreating the knight. Rook a b1 doesn't seem to do anything, although it's putting a bit of pressure on that bishop. Yeah, let's just keep the tension for a minute. Okay, and bring their rook up to d7. If we double our rooks on the b file, can we break through there? So rook takes, pawn takes, rook takes. Yeah, it's not. We don't want to sacrifice the exchange for nothing there, because the king's still got an escape, hasn't he? And unless we can remove that b7 pawn, we can't get our queen into the corner there. Queen sacrifice doesn't work. And the queen is now staring down at our own weakness on a2. I'm going to double the rooks. I can't think of a better plan here. This position's gone south in a hurry. No other attacking options I can see. We've got to put some more pressure here, or we're just not going to. I suppose, what about d4? No, that just loses the queen. That's terrible. I think quicker, but also accurately. Oh no, hang on. Oh no, we've got our queen covering us. Yeah, because if they go knight c4 now, we could just come back and take it. So the big plan is to try and attack here. So exchange sacrifice, rook takes, pawn takes, rook takes, and then rook takes, and then get the queen in. I think that's the best we can do. But we've got to watch for counterplay from our opponent. Okay, they bring the bishop back, which I think is an error, because they now can't defend with that pawn. So hang on. Queen to a6, then they take the knight. It threatens checkmate. They take. They could take with the rook, though, can't they? They could just take with the rook. So queen a6 can't take with the pawn because of the rook on the queen. No. Okay, that's good. Let's down to a minute. I can't calculate any further, because that is just mate if we get our queen in there, so they need to defend against that. And how are they going to do that? How are they going to cover that B7 square? I think it's got to be... Okay, they take the knight, which okay, yeah, sensible. Because that now has the rook covering, so we didn't calculate that properly. If we recapture... Oh, we could recapture now with the bishop. With the pawn, sorry. So they can't immediately take. So our position isn't terrible. Okay, that's a good move. Although... Now I'm thinking about doubling the rooks to try and smash through there. So, rook fb1. They could advance again, though. No, they couldn't. Yeah, I think we'll go rook fb1. Just try and put even more pressure on this square. It's a real issue with our time management, down to 40 seconds in such a crucial position. So if we take with check, but not mate. Yeah, we're going to have to pull the trigger because we're out of time. We win the knight here at least. I just don't think we've got the time to finish the game. We're bound to blunder, unfortunately. Okay, so we take with check. They've got to take here, or that's mate. So I don't think they've got another move, really. Oh no, it's not actually. Yeah, okay. It's a good move from our opponent. They saw that. Because they can take with the knight. Ah, no, hang on. Oh yeah, they can just take with the king if we go there. So yeah, queen. Nothing else we could do. Just the time pressure killing us there. Really killed us. And that they've got that back rank mate that they could pull as well. I think of course if they take with the knight, they lose their queen. Guys, see, this is what the 25 seconds does. This has been a roller coaster of blunders. So what do they do now? Because they're losing that rook. If they have to go king c8. I don't think there's another legal move, is there? So king c8. Ah, king c8. Queen a8, checkmate. No, they can take with the knight. I was going to say, you've got to take with the knight. You've got to lose your queen. Now we've just got to try and convert this position, and I really don't know how we're going to manage that. We've got so little material. God dear. Don't know what on earth to do here. Let's just bring our knight into the game. I've got to basically blitz this last few seconds. We've got to watch this back rank mate as well. Get our king into the game. Because we've got increments, a few quick moves while we're ahead will build us up just a little bit of time that we can use. Okay, threaten the knight. I'm happy to exchange knights here, being ahead in material. No I'm not, because that would be mate. That's a blunder. That's what the time pressure will do. Oh no, it's not mate, but we trade down to a losing endgame. Yeah, that was a bit of a cock up. So now rook b1, and they're going to be able to trade. Their king is better positioned than ours. So now we're in a king and pawn endgame. So we've got our kings in opposition. I think the honourable thing here is to offer a draw. Kings in opposition, equal material. See if our opponent is interested. Well, we'll make our move. We've got to take there, they've got to take. Now if they take, can we get inside and harass their pawns? I think we might be able to. Hang on, let's have a think. Yeah, it's got to be king e4 here, hasn't it? We want to keep them away from their pawns. And actually we've got a nice way in to this square. Because they're, yep. If we go here, so yeah, they have to go there. And so now can we do them to death with some tempo moves? Do we push h4? Let's check that. h4. They can't go h5. So now, yeah, okay, we've got to be really careful here. I think it's f4. I'd love to have had about 10 minutes for this position. Okay, so g5, h takes, h takes. I see, we end up by our king either way, don't we? We're going to end up with a pawn behind our king, as are they. But can we go? Can we take that with our king and stay in front of our pawn? Yes, we can. We've got to be careful not to stalemate here. So I think it's gonna be, yeah, we're gonna stalemate, I think. If we go g6, they go back inside, they can go inside and outside forever, can't they? Do we go f? Yeah, then we're behind. We just push and take it though. Yeah, f5. Yeah, that was the wrong move. That was the blunder, I think. shame. Messed that one up. From winning to losing, the blundering bishop style. That was a great game though, really enjoyed that. Gonna check the analysis over in a minute. Oh, shame they didn't stay to say good game, because I did enjoy that one. Right, let's just click to analysis. I really want to check that end game before we check anything else. And I've got a feeling this was our mistake. And instead, do we go in front? Because they then can't push that. They've got to go there. And then... No, that's even according to the computer. Yeah, okay. Maybe that... Was that a blunder though? No, we made no blunders in the end game. Okay. Well, that's interesting to see. Okay, so our report card, 3 blunders each. Our opponent made 2 mistakes. And we both played with circa 90% accuracy, so I'm really happy with that. Just going to click through some of our big mistakes. So here we went rook fb1. This is when we were in that real time pressure. Didn't really know how to take the game forward. So the computer has this as a blunder, in fact. Rook fb1. So we could have just taken the knight, couldn't we? We could. See, that's the time pressure really getting to us. And then here we played. Well, we started to take. Right. So the pin is broken. We can't take this time. Could we have pushed that pawn? No. So what's it telling us to do? Something with our queen. Do we just take the knight? Do we just take the rook? I don't think so. Oh no, actually we still take the knight, don't we? Because after... Yeah, and then that's just winning. Okay. Let's go back to our next mistake. Knight c4, I mean we saw this in the game. That was a blunder. Cost us a winning position. Went from winning to losing very quickly there. I wonder if just bringing our queen up to a decent... Nope. Oh, of course we had the back rank problem, didn't we? So king f1 with a view to just bringing our king to the centre. Said we had a missed win. Just taking. Oh, could have just taken the pawn. Yeah. And finally, queen takes c4. Okay, we shouldn't have taken here. We should have left the position as it was. Probably just developed our king. Yeah, just an outlet for the king. Right. Let's have a look at the end game, because that was exciting stuff. So we're going into it even according to the engine. We got our king, I think, in the best place. And then here, yeah, okay. I don't think there was anything other than what we did. We both played well. Okay, we lost the game. I'm not sad to have lost it, I must admit. It's a drawing position anyway, isn't it? Because after going back, yeah, just our opponent, with the kings in opposition like this, I don't think our opponent can pass that pawn. We would eventually stalemate, wouldn't we? Let's see what they... Bit of king shuffling, yeah, and then we're stalemate. Okay, well, I really hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Thank you very much for watching. As ever, if you're enjoying the content here on the Blundering Bishop, please do feel free to leave a like, hit that subscribe button. If you're not enjoying the content, if you think there's things we could be doing better, please do feel free to leave us a helpful comment. Thanks very much, folks, and goodbye.